What's good, Rush Rivals? This is Lord Tenrai back at it with another Rush Duel Best Decks video, this time highlighting my Dragoncasters deck, which I took to the King of Games rank for November 2023 and attained a 9-1 win rate in King of Games rank with a 5-win streak and a 4-win streak respectively. And yeah, I just thought I'd show it to you all. If you like this deck list and want to see more, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any recommendations or any wish lists or wishes for a particular deck to be covered, please let me know in the comments below and I'll do my best to accommodate you. Without much further ado, let's go straight into the deck list. Now, I really like Dragoncaster. I think that going into Heavy Metal Scream, the new box that came out recently, this deck was like one of the best decks in the game. You know, being able to facilitate Dragius and Seven Road Magician is just like, the power ceiling was incredibly high. I think probably like some of the highest you can see in the game, other than the stuff that I showed you with Bubble Era. This deck took a little bit of a hit. I think that in terms of the power scaling, I think, you know, more consistently, I think Arise Dragons like beat over this for sure. However, Seven Rose Magician with this deck is excellent because as long as you are hitting a lot of your attributes, you're looking at 36, 33, 36, 3900 attack, which is just humongous, allowing you to get around a lot of the problem back row in the game. And more importantly, with it being that big, you can swing with SRM first and then or swing with Drag. Well, it doesn't really matter what you swing with first. You can swing with Dragius first, and then because your SRM is higher than the Dragius, the widespread ruin that the opponent might have will destroy the SRM, meaning that you can still attack twice with Dragius, which is huge. It's like one of the best. It's like one of the best tactics in Rush Duel. The card is just that good, right? And then obviously we're playing the Spellcaster engine because Spellcasters pound for pound, pretty solid engine, good recovery, and like I mentioned, very high power scaling. I think in terms of things I would like to change, I think the problem that I foresee with a build like this is that I just have too many unsummonables, right? So we have 3 Dragius, 3 SRM, 2 Seven Road Witch, which makes for 8 so far. Then you have Summon Skull 9 plus 6 back row for 15 unsummonables. Now, don't get me wrong, 6 of those can be set, but you don't really want to be too reliant on setting 3 spell and trap and passing, because if the opponent has Dragius, Dragorite, which is just so common, right? Then, you know, they'll swing with Dragorite, they'll swing with Dragius again, 2500 attack, you're already down on life points. That's not a good look in Rush Duels, let's be honest, right? So I think in the future, I probably would cut this deck list down in terms of the spell and traps and put in more Doriados and more spell archers just to flesh out the normal summons that I have in the deck. But other than that, I was very, very happy with the ratios. I'll quickly go over the cards. There's nothing major. Very, very straightforward deck. Dragius, best tribute in the game, bar none. Just summon this and just start swinging and be happy. Seven Rose Magician, otherwise known as SRM. This card gets freaking huge. No matter which deck you're playing it in, you want as many attributes in the graveyard as possible so it can hit that juicy 3900. I mean, it gets so big that I'm pretty sure some maximum monsters can get outed by this card, right? So, you know, very, very good card. Even in the future, with more support with Dragoncasters, you are going to be playing 3 Seven Road and 3 Dragius. There, in my mind, there is just no question of that. 3 Kuribot, I still think this is the best, sorry, the second best normal summon in the game. If you have one in graveyard, grab another one back for 500 life points, no biggie. Summon the other one, and then get your Dragiuses or Seven Road Magician going, and just have fun. Seven Road Witch, otherwise known as SRW. I'll be honest with you, like, I wasn't looking forward to playing 2 of this card, but I knew I had to because the special summon is just that good. I didn't run into any Yami Ruler, but I know if I did, this deck would get bodied hard by Yami Ruler because of the amount of level 7s that we have. So being able to special summon SRM is just so important. So I'm very glad that I didn't go with what I originally planned, which was to run 1 SRW. that would have been a huge mistake, because there were so many games where I was going into a hand with just like, you know, one card in hand, SRM, and I was like, right, please give me SRW, please give me SRW, and then boom, I nailed it. So, you know, very, very happy with how this card performed. Thunder, still an excellent normal summon. Don't get me wrong, the new box brought a lot of excellent normal summons, such as Speedy Performer, Seraph. However, I still think this card is excellent for a lot of decks. Dragoncaster, no different. Being able to discard your Fire Golems, your Doriados, your Spell Archers, very, very great for the deck, because you want to build up your graveyard attributes very, very quickly. Speaking of which, Fire Golem, this card's effect doesn't really come up that much. However, if you are threatening with an SRM and they have a face-up monster on the field, they put it to defense position because they're a bit worried about the life points damage. This card will come up. It just depends what they will put into defense, face-up defense, obviously. But really, we care about that juicy, juicy fire attribute. A card that comes up heavily though, and recommend at 3 at all times, is Mystic Dealer. This card is so important to the deck. Even if you draw 2 Mystic Dealer, I think it's perfectly fine to go Mystic Dealer, discard Mystic Dealer, draw 1. You know, you will be able to get it back with barriers and recovery forces anyway. So, you know, not all is lost, right? Whereas with something like Fire Golem, for example, you could bump this down to 2, and I think, you know, the deck would still perform as intended. You just have to buff up the amount of spell archers or Doriados that you have. Summon Skull, even without the Legend Draw skill, I would play Summon Skull. It's just an excellent tribute monster. I think it's like, obviously it's not the best tribute monster because there's no effect behind it, but being able to come in with 25 is just excellent. It really just helps to apply that pressure so well. Doriado, really there just for the Earth attribute, but 1400 booty does come into play, especially when they misplay with, well, not necessarily misplay, but they miscalculate with the attack declarations, and they swing into a face down with Thunder, and they get blocked by the 1400 booty. So, you know, keep that in mind. It can help you out here and there, but don't rely on it. Spell Archer, literally just there for the wind attribute. This card literally does nothing for us. I don't even think we ever swing with this card, but I might be wrong. Ghost Cyclone. Now, and we'll mention Monster Reincarnation as well. I'll be honest with you, these 2 cards came in clutch in the replays. I don't know what it is I would cut. Reincarnation is excellent because obviously you get to bring back your SRM, your Dragius, your 7-word Rich, so that you can facilitate combos. And then Ghost Cyclone, I'll be honest with you, like, we hit so many widespreads in our 10 games that it was just crazy luck. I'll be honest with you. So yeah, very happy with how this card performed. I mean, also in my mind, I could potentially take out both of these and just run more Spell Archers and more Doriados. Haven't really decided yet, but I do know that the ratios for this deck, in my opinion, looking at them right now, they're not perfect, but there is some space to flex it, right? You know, I'll make it work, and I might make a revision on this deck in the near future. But yeah, Reincarnation's mad clutch. Ghost Cyclone, mad clutch. I think these cards are excellent. Recovery Force, literally just to mill in your SRMs and SRWs, and then it allows you to draw deeper into your combo pieces. Just an excellent card. Widespread Ruin, like, I think it's probably the best card in the game right now. I have scooped to this card. People have scooped to me to this card. It is what it is, right? It's a game ender currently. And, you know, until we get other battle traps or other, you know, legendary traps, I should say, you know, we are not going to not see this card in any deck. Like, every duelist should run this card, so you should run this card, no question. And then finally, Barrier. We don't run tons of Barrier. I mean, in theory, you could in theory run 3 by taking out one of the other spell cards that we have in the deck. But really, I like it when a player is trying to like, you know, attack declaration with Dragius into SRM, and then we force the crash because of the barrier. That comes in mad clutch sometimes, not gonna lie to you. But really, we also like it because we get to shuffle in our key combo pieces, such as our Dragiuses and our SRMs. So, you know, that really helps us out overall. So yeah, that's the deck list. Like I said, I think like the ratios aren't perfect, but they're very close to being perfect. And in the 10 games that we had, we were very consistent. I know 10 games might not sound like a lot, but when you're getting 5 win streaks into 4 win streaks, and I'm still on that win streak, I just haven't played any other matches to show you, obviously, the consistency in a best of 10 scenario. You know, you could extend that win streak exponentially. If I was to tweak this deck, I think it would look something like this. And in that way, you know, you have lots of summonables to set up your defense. You have your spell archers to round out, you know, the probability of your mills. So like SRM mill, Dragius mill, get wins in there. But yeah, the problem with stuff like this is that you then become weaker to piercing attacks and stuff like that. But it's the price that you pay, right? It's the price that you pay. I mean, you can even take out Recovery's Force, but I mean, I think this card is excellent. It served me well in every single game. So yeah, I mean, and also, like I said, you can take out one Doriado and play like a Ghost Cyclone, or you can play a Monster Reincarnation. It's entirely up to you. But this was the deck list. I hope you enjoyed this section of the video. Now let's get into some juicy replays. Right, so here we are, right into the replays. Just before we get started, just showing you. Obviously, got King of Games rank earlier this month. I achieved that with Bubble Hero, I believe. And then this is my 9-1 in my 10 games in King of Games, which I was very, very happy with overall. And let's just go straight into some replays. So, first things first, matchup against Uri Kira. Yeah, like I said, like I was not expecting these ratios to really work. I just came off of trying to make a Yami Ruler deck, and my mind was like, right, we need between 6 to 8 spell and trap cards so that we round out the non-summonables, the 2 tributes that we do have. And I went with the 6 spell and traps, which, you know, in theory, as I've already mentioned, doesn't work, but it worked out well here. Starting off here, we have a pretty decent defensive turn 1. They go for their set 3 pass. We go for our set 4 pass, obviously keeping Thunder so we can be a bit more aggressive next turn. Their Hammer Crush hits our barrier, which is, you know, not ideal, but it is what it is. And then swings twice. And then here we go. Dragius, mill. Set the other barrier. Sorry, set the other widespread. Apologies. Attack twice and then swing with Thunder. At this point, we're kind of wondering what their back row is. It could be the Psychic Trap, but obviously we just don't know at this point. Romampic effect. Sorry, no effect from Romampic, but there will be an effect from Seahorse Carrier. With she is looking to get out her boss monster, and she does successfully. Right, and then 2800, and then obviously we are going to widespread here. We know that if we can keep Dragius on the field, we're just applying humongous pressure, and that trap card did nothing for them in the previous turn. So Dragius effect to mill, Thunder effect to decrease, SRW, pitch Dragius, get SRM, and the opponent scoops. They know what's coming, and it is big damage. So let's go into another replay. That's what I mean. Like, honestly, this deck snowballs opponents so fast. It is ridiculous. And although, you know, all this good back row does hurt Dragoncasters, it also helps us as well. You know, you are going to see clutch widespreads. I'll be completely honest with you. Oh yeah, this guy plays Spicy Noodle Ninja. So, yeah, this guy really hangs in there and gives me a run for my money, because I almost died to this guy, which you will see. Straight into Dragius off of Mystic Dealer's effect. Yep. And then we go into Recovery Force, ditching SRM. We draw into another Dragius, which is absolutely crazy. Double Dragius, one of the best boards on the field. So one of the best boards in the game, I should say. 25 to the grill. At this point, he is desperate. And guess what? All 5 cards he's able to set, which is an excellent draw for him. At this point, we pretty much, you know, we can think here that they do have widespread, but we just have to push. So we tribute Summon Skull. Sorry, tribute for Summon Skull. Double Dragius, we mill the reincarnation there, which really sucks, but it is what it is. Widespread Ruin, we lose a Dragius. Clear the field. 2 back row left. Go Cyclone Pop, our Widespread Ruin, which really hurts us. And then Hammer Crush to hit the other guy, Geist, Go Cyclone, which, you know, not great, but it could have been worse. They could have hit our barrier. Right, SRW on the field. We are keeping this hand at the moment because we know that we can, like, obviously facilitate combos in the near future with SRW, sorry, Fire Golem, tribute for SRW, discard for SRM. Yeah, and we're just clearing boards at the moment. Another 25k to the face. And another set 3 as well in the front row. Dragius effect. Right into King's Majesty, which is, you know, pretty rough because we don't get the double attack here. Two tribute here for Spice. Then Monster Reincarnation for Fire Yaru. Fire Yaru and I think this is Stock. Yeah, Stock the Noodle Ninja. Straight into Noodle Art boost. Pretty scared right now, not gonna lie. Discard for the Spice effect and the Noodle Art of Roastery. Now at this point, I'll be honest with you, at this point, this is lethal. So if we did not have barrier, we would have died. We would have been absolutely obliterated from orbit. Anyway, 48 into 16. That's like 28, isn't it? 32. Just huge damage. At this point, we have to barrier, otherwise we die, right? We are just straight up dead. So we barrier. Deals 1400 to us, and then this leaves us with 300 life points left, and that's all we need because they have no back row, and then we can just kill for game. Standard combo, and he rides it out to the end as well like a true champion. 1400 to the grill. Goodbye, spicy noodle ninjas. But honestly, I was so close to death there. If I did not have the barrier, if he hammer crushed the barrier, I would have died. I would have died big time. So yeah, good stuff to that guy. We're gonna go straight into our next game against Rest. Right into another Psychic Amp Up deck. Honestly, fighting against this deck is so nauseating because you just have to miss out on doing fat loads of damage so that you don't put them in Esperade effect range, right? Right, Mystic Dealer, pitch Spell Archer, set, and then summons tribute summon Skull, and then with Mystic Dealer we actually drew into Widespread Ruin, which is so clutch, as you will see. Like, just mad clutch. We don't use it here though, because at this point we don't mind if their Summon Skull beats over our Summon Skull, because it's only a normal beater. We're not that worried about 600 life points, frankly. Set 3, and then go straight into SRM. Activate effect, and then we set the reincarnation for later. And at this point, we're kind of perplexed because we just swing straight into Prima for no effect, for no response. So at this point, I think this is probably like the trap for the what's it called? The trap for the psychics. The psychic trap that you can like grind through roaming. Yeah. And we don't mind about this either. Like their summon skull beating over our SRM. We don't really care about that if I'm being honest with you. And then we still have widespread as well. So, you know, if we need to use it later, we're good for that. We saw straight into Ghost Cyclone, which comes in mad clutch because we popped their widespread ruin, which is also mad clutch. You know, Karibot into grabbing a Karibot, tribute summon SRW, activate effect. We keep the Karibot here so that we can go into the next turn with Karibot so we can facilitate more tribute summons. And then we just start swinging. And this barrier, I'm not sure why, it's just not a very good barrier, especially because they are so far away from being able to activate Esperate effect. At this point, they would have to do like Ramampic into Prima and then somehow get Esperate on the field, which is just, that doesn't sound reliable to me. I think you can do it, but it's just far too hard. Anyway, Hammer Crush, they hit our widespread ruin. Even Stevens, they get Prima Katana on the field. They just swing straight into SRM, no problem. And then we draw into another SRM, which is huge. And then we get RS, you know, we special summon SRM. And then Monster Reincarnation, grabbing Dragius. This is just straight up BMing at this point. And yeah, that's it. They just scoop. But that's why it's so good, right? Like having that board of Dragius and Seven's Road is excellent because you are able to just, you know, swing with Dragius without worrying. Simply because if they have widespread, then, you know, if they have widespread, then they're just going to destroy the SRM and we're still going to be able to deal fat damage at 2500 attack. So obviously in that instance though, we had already popped their widespread, so we would have swung with SRM first. Anyway, Luke versus Luke, the Chad matchup. Straight into Dragius, no messing about. And then we're playing against a Dragon matchup. But we don't know which Dragon matchup it is yet, obviously. Straight into a Rise Dragon, very well done. Set 2 back row, Mill gets the Slugger. And then yeah, he beats over the Dragius. However, we know that we can get over this monster with SRM, so we're not too worried. Go Cyclone, straight into Poppage, and we get the barrier, which is great. So yeah, Karibot, grabbing Karibot, tribute summon for SRW. Pitching the Karibot to summon SRM. And then Seven Rose Magician effect coming in at 36. And then we go SRW first into Jaguarite, and then we attack with SRM, and we clear his board. Straight into the Dragius. Straight into a Reincarnation. But for some reason he goes into a Reincarnation here for Draguarite. I think it's really just greedy to want to have like a 1500 normal summon to just be like, okay, like I guarantee Dragius is going to resolve here, and then I'm going to get a, you know, free 1500 to your grill. This ends up costing him big time. So yeah, we let that go through, and then yeah, we let that crash. And then we don't mind the 1500 here because we know our power scaling is so high. He can have the 15 here because he has no defense. If we get Dragius on the field, we can potentially kill for game. We draw Dragius, we get Reincarnation, so we send the barrier, we get a Karibot. Karibot into Karibot. Like I said, like we don't even need the barrier, so we're very happy to discard barrier at this point. And then we get Dragius on the field and summon Skull, and you're dead. Yeah, very, very greedy play on his part, and it ends up costing him the duel. Unlucky Pedro. straight into the next match. Right up against Mimi. Now, I can't remember if this is just normal bubble era or vanilla bubble era. But I know this came off of after I lost, I got another 2 win streak. Obviously, like I ended up getting 5 in the end. But yeah. This deck did so well for how messed up the ratios were. This deck did really well. Right, straight into Dragius, no messing about. Yep, and we run straight into the widespread. We don't mind too much because we have a lot of nice back row. So yeah, they summon Dying Keto, straight into Seahorse Carrier, grabbing Kanan. And then gain a K, and they're using the Red Eye skill, which is really spicy. Love this. It has such good synergy with this deck as well because the skill still allows for level 8s to attack, so it's just excellent, frankly. Now we widespread here because we know that like if we can get Dragius, then we can swing over Red Eyes. If we get SRW, we can swing over Red Eyes. If we get anything, any sort of board presence, you know, we're gonna be okay. And because they've already used their widespread, we're not really that worried about their back row. Even if it's a barrier or a recital, we're still looking excellent. And besides, we have the Ghost Cyclone to pop it. So Kuriboh into Kuriboh. Tribute for SRW. SRW pitch Kuriboh because we still have one left in hand. And then this is our board. And then we can start laying on some thick damage. Just over half health. And we still have a battle of our own. So, you know, potentially we can force crashes, which would be excellent for us. However, they activate Triple T, which is just absolutely disastrous for us. They, you know, grab their Red Eyes Black Dragon. Now, I don't understand this, right? Frankly, I just don't understand this. Why would he not go... Oh, because he's trying to play around barrier. So he's going 24 into SRW because of the barrier. And then he's just going to swing for guaranteed 14 into SRM with their Kanan. But yeah, we activate barrier and then we just mill in Dragius because we know if we draw into Dragius right now, it's just game. And we draw into Dragius. So we go straight into Recovery Force. And we draw SRM as well, which is just overkill at this point. So we get our Dragius on field first. And then we just get our SRM out second. Yeah, the scoop is absolutely justified. Frankly, the scoop is absolutely justified. Right, on to the next game. 2 more games left to show you. Right up against the legend, Luke. And we're up against Neseva. And yeah, once again, pretty solid defensive hand here. We're not really that worried. I'm a bit concerned though that we're just not seeing Doriado, but it is what it is. Yeah, huge board. This is lethal if this all connects. Frankly, we see the Doriado, we finally mill one. And then yeah, that's lethal. That just shows you how quickly you can end games. I assumed he bricked massively, right? It is what it is. It happens to the best of us. And then we're just going to go into the last game. Right into another Roman amped up Psychic deck. This deck is all over the ladder. This and Heavy Metal, like, you see them everywhere. Yeah, just double set, then set all the spell on back row. this is like ideal, right? I mean, I would probably prefer to have 3 monsters instead of 2, but really, like, we're very, very happy with a hand like this. Straight into the Hammer Crush, they hit the Recovery Force. We don't really care about that too much. Mystic Dealer, ditch Mystic Dealer. Tribute for SRW. Activate Effect, pitch Kuribot, get SRM. And then Tribute Summon for Summon Skull. Just a beefy board. Like, this is like not grade A, but this is like grade B plus board in terms of this deck list. So yeah, they set all again. And we're not in a rush. They hit the Widespread Ruin, so our SRM is still in play. And then we just kill 2 and pass. Getting amped up. So Seahorse Carrier into Seahorse plays. And then Dream Drummer comes out. Activate Dream Drummer effect. So he mills in the Summon Skull. I don't really know why. Because if I get Summon Skull in one of my draws, it could spell trouble for him. But we'll see. So yeah, the earliest Esperade. Straight into a Prima. Baboost. So Barrier, which is going to force the crash here. Very happy with that. And then Widespread to clear the board. We do that because we have the Dragius here in hand. And we can do a lot of damage. We draw Mystic Dealer. Mystic Dealer pits Archer. Set Archer. And then activate Effect. And then we just play defensive here. The reason why we don't want their life points to be too low. Frankly, even this is still too low in my opinion. Because Romanpic into Prima into Esperade can really hurt us. However, they go Reincarnation for Romanpic, which is that's just really unfortunate that they have to do that to facilitate plays. Getting another Romanpic. Activate Romanpic again. Get Prima. Tribute for Summon Skull. Get Dream Drummer. Yep, milling in the Kuribot. And then activate effect. They're coming in at 900 under the gun. They get to clear our board here. But we know that we can at the very least defend with a hand like this. But we draw into SRM because we are amazing. So we pitch for Thunder, pitching Kuribot to decrease. Activate SRW. Get 7 rows out. And then set Thunder. And then we just go for lethal here. Get bodied. Anyway, thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, any recommendations on decks to cover, please message in the comments below. And I'll probably be showing you for more videos for the Goha Rush, which is currently underway. I'm hoping to knock that out the park very soon and get into stage 2 very early on. Once again, thank you for watching and take care.